Can I ask you something? I just lost a deal, a big one, and I still can't figure out what went wrong.
What happened?
I was negotiating with a company for months, partnership deal, big revenue potential. I was transparent the whole time, told them exactly what I wanted, what my goals were, what success looked like for my side. I thought I was building trust. And then last Tuesday, they called and said they were going with someone else. No real explanation, just done.
How transparent are we talking?
Completely. I showed them our growth projections. I told them which markets we were targeting. I even told them we didn't have another partner lined up yet because I wanted them to know they were our first choice.
You told them you had no backup plan.
I thought honesty was the move. Everyone talks about authenticity, right? Be real, be vulnerable, build trust. That's what every leadership podcast says.
And while you were being real, they were learning exactly how much leverage they had over you. You didn't build trust, you built a map and handed it to someone who used it to navigate around you.
That's harsh.
What did they do with the deal? Did they go with a competitor?
Worse, they took our proposal to a competitor and used our terms as a baseline to negotiate a better deal somewhere else. I found out through a mutual contact.
So your transparency became their ammunition.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Honesty and transparency are not the same thing. You can be an honest person without revealing every card in your hand, but somewhere along the way, people started confusing openness with integrity. Like if you're not showing everything, you must be hiding something sinister.
Well, aren't you? If you're deliberately concealing what you want, isn't that just manipulation?
Is a chess player manipulative because they don't announce their next 3 moves?
That's different. That's a game.
Every negotiation is a game. Every job interview, every time someone asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a game. And the people who play it well aren't the ones who lay out their entire strategy on the table. They're the ones who reveal just enough to keep the other side engaged while keeping their true direction private.
But I've been in situations where being upfront actually worked, where the other person respected it and we built something real from that.
Of course. And I'm not saying never be open. I'm saying choose when. There's a difference between sharing your values, which builds connection, and sharing your strategy, which builds vulnerability. The problem is, most people can't tell the difference in the moment. It feels so good to be understood, to have someone nod along with your vision, that you keep talking, and every sentence gives them more.
More what?
More power, more ability to predict you, more ability to position themselves. When someone knows exactly what you want, they know exactly what to offer you, and more importantly, they know exactly what to withhold.
All right, so how do you operate then? You just walk around being mysterious all the time? People see through that too. The guy who never answers a straight question, everyone hates that person.
Right. And that's the mistake people make on the other side. They hear, conceal your intentions, and they turn into some brooding enigma who speaks in riddles. That's not concealment, that's performance. And it raises suspicion faster than anything.
So what does real concealment look like?
It looks like misdirection, not secrecy, misdirection. You don't go silent. You don't dodge every question. You give people something to focus on, just not the real thing. You talk openly about a goal that's true, but secondary. You show enthusiasm for a direction that matters to you, but isn't the main play. The other person thinks they're reading you perfectly. They feel comfortable. And while they're watching your left hand, your right hand is doing the actual work.
That sounds exhausting.
It's less exhausting than losing a deal you spent months building because someone used your own words against you.
Fair.
Let me give you a real example from history. Otto von Bismarck, 19th century. He wanted to unify the German states under Prussian leadership, which meant he needed a war with France. But he couldn't just start one. Prussia would look like the aggressor, and the other European powers would intervene, so he needed France to start it.
How do you make someone else start a war they don't want?
You make them think the war was their idea. Bismarck got his hands on a diplomatic telegram, the Ems dispatch, a routine communication between the Prussian king and a French ambassador. The original was polite, even boring. Bismarck edited it. Not with lies, he just trimmed it, tightened it, changed the tone so that it read like an insult. He published this edited version in the press. The French public erupted. They demanded war, Napoleon III, under pressure from his own people, declared war on Prussia, exactly what Bismarck wanted.
So France walked right into it.
They marched right into it, with flags, because they believed the aggression came from the other side. Bismarck didn't conceal that there was a conflict brewing. Everyone knew tensions existed. What he concealed was that he was the architect of the provocation. The French thought they were responding to an insult. They were actually responding to a script.
That's brilliant and terrifying at the same time.
The point isn't that you should manipulate countries into war. The point is that Bismarck understood something most people don't. The best way to conceal your intentions isn't silence, it's noise. It's a story they believe completely that they never look for the real one.
But that only works on people who aren't paying attention, right? Smart people see through misdirection.
Actually, it works best on smart people, because smart people trust their own judgment. They think, I've analyzed this, I've read the signals, I know what's happening. And that confidence is exactly what makes them vulnerable. They're so sure they've figured you out that they stop looking. A less confident person might keep questioning, keep digging, but someone who prides themselves on reading people, once they think they have you pegged, they relax.
That's a really uncomfortable thought. You're saying intelligence can be a blind spot.
Intelligence combined with certainty is one of the biggest blind spots there is, because it feels like clarity. It feels like you're seeing the whole board, and the person sitting across from you, if they're smart enough, is counting on that feeling.
Okay, I want to bring this back to real life, because I'm not Bismarck. I'm someone who runs a small business, has relationships, goes to meetings. How does this show up in my Tuesday afternoon?
Let's say you're interviewing for a job, a better job. You're still employed, but you're exploring. Your current boss doesn't know. Now, the transparent approach, the one all those podcasts love, would be to tell your boss, hey, I'm looking at other opportunities, right?
Some people do that.
And some of them come in the next Monday to find their responsibilities quietly redistributed and their access to key projects revoked. Not because their boss is evil, because their boss is human. And a human who knows you're leaving stops investing in you. They start protecting themselves.
So you keep it quiet.
You keep it quiet. But more than that, you misdirect. You show enthusiasm for a new initiative at work. You ask about long-term plans. You give every signal that you're planted where you are. Not because you're dishonest, but because revealing your intention before you've secured the outcome gives someone else the power to disrupt it.
And in the job interview with the new company?
Same principle. They ask, why are you leaving? You don't say because my boss is terrible and I'm underpaid and I'm desperate for change, even if all of that is true. You give them a story that's real but partial. I've grown as much as I can in my current role and I'm looking for a new challenge. Both things can be true simultaneously, but one makes you sound desperate. The other makes you sound strategic.
But where does this stop? Because I hear this and I think if everyone's concealing their intentions all the time, how does anyone actually connect? How do you have a real relationship if you're always managing what the other person knows?
That's the right question. And here's the honest answer. You don't conceal everything from everyone. That would make you a sociopath. The people you love, the people who've proven themselves over years, you can be open with them. Vulnerability in the right relationship is a gift, but vulnerability in the wrong context is a weapon handed to someone who hasn't earned it. The skill isn't permanent concealment, it's discernment. Knowing who gets the real version and who gets the edited one.
And most people aren't good at that distinction.
Most people default to one mode. Either they're open with everyone, which is naive, or they're guarded with everyone, which is lonely. The people who navigate life well are the ones who can shift between the two. Open with their partner, their closest friends, their inner circle, strategically reserved with everyone else. Not cold, not dishonest, just thoughtful about what they share and when.
You know what I keep coming back to? My deal, the one I lost. I genuinely believed that being transparent was building something. I thought the other side respected it.
They might have respected you, but respect didn't stop them from using what you gave them. That's the part people miss. Someone can like you, admire you, even feel guilty about it, and still act in their own interest when you've made it easy. You gave them a choice between loyalty to you and advantage for themselves. And for most people in most situations, advantage wins.
That's cynical.
It's human. And recognizing it doesn't make you cynical, it makes you prepared. The goal isn't to distrust everyone, it's to stop confusing openness with strategy. Be warm, be genuine, be someone people enjoy being around, but keep your next move quiet until you're ready to make it. Because the moment you announce your intentions, you invite resistance. You give people time to prepare, to counter, to position themselves. And the best moves in life, the ones that actually change your trajectory, they land because nobody saw them coming.
Not even the smart people.
Especially not the smart people.
I think I need to make a call. That company that took my proposal to my competitor, I've been avoiding them because I'm angry. But now I'm thinking they don't know what I know. They don't know I found out, and maybe there's something useful in that.
Now you're thinking differently.
You know what the real lesson is? I spent my whole career thinking honesty was a strategy. Turns out honesty is a value. Strategy is something else entirely.